Yeah. My name is Wawira and I'm 24 years old, and I grew up in Njiru. This is where I grew up. I grew up in a very typical Kenyan middle-class home, went to a private school, a typical private school. I went to high school, Precious Blood High School. Then when I was 19, I moved to Australia for my undergraduate. So I did that for 4 years, from 2010 to 2013. And then I moved back to Kenya in 2014, yes, in 2014 January. So the reason why we started Food for Education was when I was growing up, I had a typical kind of life. You know, I had 3 meals a day. I was able to go to school. I was able to concentrate on everything. But there were many people around me who were not able to have that. And for me, that was very clear when I was growing up. It was very clear that I had an advantage over others. And so I wanted to do something to like even the scales, you know, to kind of provide the same opportunities that I had been given to other people, and especially children, because I feel that children require certain opportunities when they're young that set them up for a better future. So one of the main things that was missing in schools, especially in this area, was lack of food. So that's when we started Food for Education, because we wanted to do something where children have access to food, and that way they're able to stay in school and learn. We bring in different people to speak to the children, and they say that when I hear someone who maybe grew up in the same situation as me and has gone to university, has excelled in life and everything, I feel that, oh, you know, even me, I can be something. If I work hard, if I try this, I've been given opportunities, I'm in school, I'm not hungry, I have someone who cares about me, who is interested in my learning, and that encourages them to learn.
My name is Wanja Kibuki. I am 22 years old. I initially grew up in Kiambu. I went to a class 1 in a school called Kepabu Primary School. That's in Nikino in Kiambu. Then we moved to Nairobi. That's when I came to SOS Primary School. And so it was a very nice school because I was privileged to have access to a library and such things. Then after that, I went to a public high school where these things were not there. You're not even allowed to read storybooks as much. It was more focused on what you're told by the teacher and do more of classwork other than extracurricular reading. Then after high school, I went to USIU. I just finished my studies at USIU. I was studying international relations and a minor in public relations. So while I was there, again, it was a privilege. You have everything that you could ever need. But in my second year there, I decided to go and volunteer in Ethiopia. So while I was there, we did a program in a primary school where they did not have anything, and considering that you're teaching children how to speak English in an Amharic country, when they go back home, there's no one to speak it to, so everything just loses value after what you teach in class. So that's when we started asking people and expatriates and also more interns that were coming in to come in with books as a way to help these kids learn English. So that's how Vitabu Vyetu started coming about. Then I came back to the country and we had a research class where we were sent to Kibera. And in Kibera, it was the same situation. The children didn't have books, but the center was willing to give room to start a library. So I was like, okay, I think I can do this. So again, I texted all my friends and family members, like, if you have any books, please give them to me. I want to go start a library. And that's how the first project came about. And then after that, 2 months later, a friend of mine invited me for Day of the African Child. She's like, we're going to this center and they don't have books, they need books. So that's the second project. Then after that, Vitabu Vyetu just became fully fledged. It was now, we have to do this because so many people are calling you to give books, but they don't understand the fact that you don't have books. You have to fundraise to get these books. So now that has become my day-to-day, 8 to 5, the minute I wake up, the minute I sleep. It's been a very tough journey considering I started with Vitabu Vyetu when I was 20. So I didn't know anything, how to fundraise, how to run a team, how to have a team, what is needed. So it's always been a learning stone. Every single day you're learning something new. You're learning how to deal with teachers, you're learning how to deal with schools, you're learning the proper government way to go about things, you're learning how to deal with social media and how to ask people for funds. So every single day you're learning, and every single day you're meeting new people, you're getting to network as much as possible. So it's been more of an interesting lesson. I think I learn more, I take every challenge as a learning. I'm like, okay, fine, this is a new challenge, let me go at it. Let me see what I can gain from it and make me a better person. Main goal for Vitabu Vyetu is to reduce the illiteracy levels in Africa. You can read a newspaper, you can read a book, but there's a person out there who can't even open a bank account because they can't write their name. That's illiteracy. think for me, being young, that was like the first biggest challenge, because you get called for a meeting with like high profile people and they know they've invited Vitabu Vietu, but then they see the person who walks into the room and they're like, that's a small girl. Why? How is this happening? So I think age has been a very big challenge, and as well as getting funding and trying to convince people why we need libraries, because they really do not understand. Kenyans, we don't read. So they don't understand what you're trying to do. Why are you reading? Why are you trying to cultivate a reading culture? But at the end of the day, education is the basis of everything. So if you don't read, then some of the things will just go wrong. To donate to Vitabu Vietu, we accept all types of books, then we profile them. So we can get textbooks, revision books, storybooks, comics, anything, then we just profile them according to what is it that whichever center that we're working with needs. And then the books that we don't need, then now we'll refer them to other organizations or to other schools that we know that need them. We've actually done projects in Nairobi, Eldoret, and Turkana. So yes, we are planning to expand as we go.
Ukajua kuku shago alafu? Sasa KCP nani atapata 400 hapa?
Adija.
Na hakuna mtu anajibu.
Mimi nikifika 8 nitapitisha. Lakini sister wangu anasema.
Sister yako atapata 400?
And above.
What inspires me is the kind of future I want to see for Kenya and the kind of future I want to see for the children of Kenya. So Food for Education was born in 2012. And we started with 25 children. We fundraised some money in Adelaide, Australia, where I was living. We fundraised a total of 126,000 shillings. And that money, we used it to construct a makeshift kitchen, like you saw. And this makeshift kitchen allowed us to cook some meals for 25 children. Currently, we provide for 50 children a day. And we are working to construct a kitchen, the one that's behind me, and we're providing for 1,000 children at a subsidized price. So these children are from Njiru Primary School and St. George's Primary School, which is right next door. Some of the challenges has been obviously because we've been only working with a small number of kids, so having to scale to be able to work with more number of kids, and that is because of limited funding. So we've not had a lot of funding as we'd like. We've had a lot of support, a lot of people giving money, a lot of people giving this, but it's still, to reach, food is very expensive. So to be able to do everything that we want to do, it's been very difficult. So that has been a major challenge. But right now we're hoping that as we approach new partners, as we do 40 for a plate, which is a campaign that we have right now, that people are joining in and giving, that people can be able to donate and see that there is a need and be able to meet that need for children. So 40 for a Plate is a campaign that was born in partnership with Vitabu Vietu, Green Sports Africa and Iboa Africa. And the point of this campaign was to raise enough money to finish our kitchen that's behind us and to start feeding 1,000 children that we want to feed this year. And the reason why we partnered is because a hungry child cannot do anything. A hungry child can't learn, a hungry child can't play sport, a hungry child can't do anything. So food is a first point. It's a first basic thing that a child needs to have. So 40 for a Plate is just a campaign where we're asking Kenyans to give us 40 shillings for a plate of food. Someone can buy more plates of food if they have the money, but the basic is like, if 40 shillings is something most of us can afford, and if you have 40 shillings, the M-Pesa pay bill is 596428, the account number 40. So with that 40 shillings, you'll be able to give a plate of food like the one you saw, the children having, and they'll be able to stay in school and learn. So the plan is to move to all counties in Kenya that are needed, and we have a target of feeding 1 million kids in 10 years. So right now we're limited to Njiru because, as I said, limited funding. But as we grow, as we scale, we're looking to go into other counties. We already have numerous requests from other people from other counties to move to those counties. So that's something that we're really looking at, and that's something we'd like to invest in. So this is the kitchen that we're constructing, but this is gonna be the kitchen. So this is where we're going to be cooking the meals. There's a door on this side. So this is going to be the restaurant where they're going to be serving the meals, and also we'll be making some money out of it. So people from outside will be coming to eat here. This is the storeroom. So here we'll be storing all the food that is required And also we have another restaurant that we're going to be making money from. And so we're looking at more business models that we can use to sustain it and generate more income, so that we don't always have 44 plates campaign running. And also with the food that we're providing heavily subsidized meals. So parents have agreed that they'll be meeting 50 shillings of the cost of food, and we'll be meeting the extra 25 of that 40 shillings. So that is where fundraising the extra, but also the parents are chipping in and saying, oh, we can do this. So that will also help in sustainability, because we're not only raising the whole 40 shillings the whole time. There's some different parties are chipping in to provide that money.
My name is Monica. I am 14 years old. I live in Njiru with my mom and Shosho. I'm in class 8. I love drawing houses, and when I grow up, I want to be an architect. For now, I work hard in school to make sure that one day my dream will come true. I visited an architect's office. And a project on site.
So the main goal of what we do is to provide opportunity to make sure that kids are in school and they're learning. They're not out on the streets, they're begging, they're not staying in class, they're sleeping because they're so hungry. So that's basically what we do. And already we've seen an impact in that. We've seen children who are performing better, children who are saying that, you know, if I didn't have this meal, then I wouldn't be staying in class, I wouldn't be learning.
Imeni benefit sana kwa sababu before nilikuwa ikifika lunch unakaa kwa darasa, unaangalia wengine, hata unasikia hata kulia, but venye ilianza nime develop sana kimasomo na hata kimaisha.
I feel very privileged because I see myself as someone who has had opportunities that other people haven't, and it's not because of anything I have, it's just because of the opportunities that I had to be born, you know, in the family that I was. So for me, I feel very privileged to be able to have the opportunity to do something for other people, and I think that that's something that I think other young people can maybe think about. How can I, with all these opportunities that I have, all this privilege that I have, do something for people around me? 21 million Kenyans are below 15 years old. So that's a really big population. out of 48 million, that's 43% of us. And that means that if we don't invest in them correctly, they're going to miss out on so many other opportunities. They're not going to have the education that they need. They're not going to stay in school. They'll be out there, you know, begging for food, getting into crime so that they can get a living. So obviously there are challenges in achieving that, because you know, you work hard, you try to do something, and then you just hear there's this corruption scandal. You know, you're looking for example, for 44 plate, we're trying to raise 2 million shillings, and you hear 100 million shillings has been lost in corruption, and you're thinking, ugh, I wish it was just 98 and the 2 million had come to us, because this is how much we need. But there are challenges like that. But you have to keep thinking that, you know, these problems that we have now, they don't have to be there forever. If we actually start solving them slowly by slowly now, then in the next 10 years, these kids that we're playing around with are the ones who are going to be voting. Most of them are 8 years, 6 years, you know, 8 years, 8 years and above. So in 10 years, they'll be voting. So if we don't educate them now, if we don't give them the opportunities now, then yeah. Well, the feedback has been amazing, from the parents to the community members, to the churches, to the principal and the school teachers and the students. It's been really encouraging, because this is a big thing, this is a big need in the community, and so addressing that has been a really big thing for them. So the feedback has been really supportive, really encouraging. Sometimes they come and volunteer and help with the cooking. Sometimes we have maybe youth from a church arrange themselves, raise some money and come and cook lunch for the kids. We've seen so much impact. For example, on the KCP that was just performed, students who are enrolled in our program scored a mean of 294 marks, while children who are not enrolled in our program scored a mean of 232 marks. So that's a 62-point difference. And the impact of that, obviously it's different things, but food is a major contributor to that. So we are hoping that as we scale, we'll be able to see better education outcomes because of provision of food. My biggest challenge to everyone would be that Kenya belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to us a section, it doesn't belong to politicians, it doesn't belong to some people, it belongs to all of us. So changing Kenya is not, and also Kenya does not belong to the government. As many people like to think, Kenya belongs to 48 million of us. So there is, whether it's going to change or not, is up to 48 million of us. So it's time we start doing something for it as ourselves. Advice is basically, I think that having something, like if you see something in your community that you feel that you want to change, it's your responsibility to do that. Like all of us, we're citizens of Kenya, we're citizens of this continent. And you know, we can stay every day complaining, oh this, oh that. Yet the problem is we haven't yet said to ourselves, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. So if you feel that you want to do something, my advice would be just do it, just start. And then if people see that it's a good thing, it's a legitimate thing that you're doing, they'll come on board. So that would be my advice, just start.